blood money. A brother did not like how his sister was degrading herself on social media, brought shame to the family, disrespect, so killed her. It was an honor killing, though how killing another is an honor, I do not know. He went to jail as honor killing was removed from the list of crimes where the family of the victim could forgive the guilty party. But recently he was released as the court changed the original conviction and the mother of the murdered daughter forgave her killer's son. Does the Quran allow for cold-blooded killers to be freed in acts of forgiveness or compensation? Can murderers get off without punishment, no justice for the victim, if forgiven in this way? Diya is understood as blood money, compensation paid to the family of the victim, which has conditions attached for its implementation. But before this can be considered, we have to take into account circumstances, and the following becomes applicable. Qisas or qasas means to pursue the criminal or to follow him, not to let him go free, so that he is punished for his crime. The Mu'mineen, true believers and implementers of the Qur'anic system and society, have been addressed in verse 2:178 shown later to do this job. Qisas means just recompense and not revenge or retaliation. This is to be the bedrock of an Islamic justice system.
You shall not take any human life, as God has made it sacred, except in the course of justice, through an appropriate court. In case of unjust killing, we have given rights to the victim's next of kin. With that right of retribution, comes the responsibility that, since the laws is helping them, he, the next of kin, must not exceed the limits.
The sanctity of human life.
On that account, we decree to the children of Israel, the eternal moral ordinance for all humanity 2:178, that whoever kills a human being, unless it be for murder or bloody crimes on the earth, it would be as if he killed all mankind. And whoever saves the life of one human being, it would be as if he saved the life of all mankind. Our messengers came to them with evident truth, yet, even after this, many of them continue to commit excesses in the land. Only a court of laws will make decisions. No one would take the laws in own hand.
Punishment for the guilty.
Security of life is the cornerstone of a civilized society. O you who have chosen to be graced with belief! The law of just recompense, qisas, has been prescribed for you in dealing with murder. If a free person has committed murder, that free person will face the laws. If a servant has committed murder, that servant will face the laws. And if a woman has committed murder, that woman will face the laws. If the victims can pardon the guilty, the murderer must be appreciative and pay an equitable compensation to the kin in handsome gratitude. This pardon is a concession and mercy from your Lord. However, after this, trespasses his laws will have an awful doom in the court of God. Equitable compensation takes into account the financial situation of the accused, color, creed, race, status, or gender of the victim or the offender will have no bearing before the justice system. There is protection of life for you in the laws of just recompense, O you who use your intellect. This is so that you may live in security. So, qisas is a deterrent and not revenge.
And
it is not conceivable that a believer will slay another believer unless it be by mistake. If one kills a believer by mistake, there is the duty of freeing a believing person from bondage, may it be slavery, extreme poverty, crushing debt or oppression, and pay compensation to the victim's family unless they forego it by way of charity. In case the victim was a believer, and belonged to a tribe who are at war with you, free a believing person from bondage. If the victim was a believer, and belonged to a tribe with whom you have a peace treaty, you should pay the compensation to his family in addition to freeing a believing person from bondage. For those who find this settlement beyond their means, 2 consecutive months of Sawm are ordained by way of repentance from God. God is the knower, the wise. The state will help if the violator is old, sick or poor.
But
whoever slays a believer intentionally, his or her punishment is hell to abide therein. God will reject him and an awful suffering is prepared for him. Unjust killing of any human being, regardless of color, creed, religion or sex, is a grievous offense that is tantamount to slaying the entire humankind. So, the offender shall be punished accordingly. Intentional murder of any human being is also a crime against the state. Therefore, the state would be responsible for tracing and bringing the offender to justice. Qisas, the duty of tracing an offender for just recompense.
so we see here that intentional murder has the destination of hellfire, which means there is no compensation, blood money or forgiveness from the individuals or society, the law. Forgiveness when called for, not literal eye for an eye.
And whenever gross injustice is inflicted upon them, they defend themselves and stand up for their rights. In the divine system, the oppressed is helped and the oppressor is requited. Yastansirun carries the meanings of defending and standing up for rights. But requiting evil may become an evil in itself. So, whoever pardons and makes peace, his reward rests with God. He does not love the violators of human rights. And those who stand up for their rights and defend themselves, when they have been wronged, for such, there is no blame. On those who oppress people and cause disorder on earth resorting to aggression, unprovoked. They are the ones for whom there is an awful doom.
The Quran presents a collective system in which it is not left to the individuals to avenge the crime. It tells the society that the crime is against the society itself and not against the heirs of the murdered one. Therefore, it is the duty of the society and not of the heirs of the murdered to make the criminal pay for his crime. It is incumbent upon the society to avenge the affected individuals. The Quran has made murder a crime in which the officers of the law can intervene, and in this, the prosecution is the responsibility of a state. Therefore, it is the duty of the Islamic government to pursue the criminals and do justice. Justice for the victim, their family and society is the priority of the law, and those who commit intentional murder cannot and should not expect to be forgiven by way of a charitable act or through paying compensation. Any other way results in murder away. The Quran Unchained.